Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and we are diving into the Fallout universe yet again. It has been a wild couple of weeks on the channel when it comes to Fallout, and today we are discussing a topic that we have actually surprisingly not brushed over on the channel, which is who will work on Fallout next? It's quite obvious we're going to see another Fallout game at some point in time. I'm not saying this is the foreseeable future, but due to the fact that Fallout 4 was financially super successful, it only makes sense to make another Fallout game. The question is, who will work on it next? Because this series has seen so many developers, we really never know, because we have obviously Bethesda Game Studios Maryland, but will it spin off into Bethesda Game Studios Montreal? Then we have Obsidian, which a lot of Fallout fans want Fallout to go to, and we could also see it go to a completely different studio. So what are the possibilities here? And this is a question a lot of gamers want answered, and I can only currently offer you my speculation. The way I view it is that a lot of people want Obsidian to make the next Fallout game because Fallout New Vegas is the gold standard when it comes to the Fallout franchise at the moment. For me personally, I would love a Fallout game from Obsidian, but I'm going to hit you guys with a dose of reality here. I don't trust them at the moment. I love their studio. They're great to me, but if you paid attention to any of the interviews I've done with Chris Avallone on SugarBomb.com, which I have covered here on the channel, it's that this studio does not seem financially stable. It seems there's a lot of managerial issues. It seems there's a lot of conflicts amongst employees, and I think that will lead to a bad chemistry, which will overall hurt the product, which is a Fallout 5 or another Fallout spin-off, and I don't think any of us want that. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see a Fallout game from Obsidian, but the way things are going over there at the moment, it doesn't seem like a good position to put the Fallout franchise in, and quite honestly, if I'm Bethesda and I own the Fallout IP and it just made me so much money, I would not recklessly hand it off to a studio who doesn't seem relatively stable at the moment. They were just talking about being purchased. Who knows if they got purchased, would that be a more smooth transition for the Fallout franchise? That's all a possibility, but right now, as the studio stands in this current discussion, I would not want to hand the franchise over to them, even if they are probably the correct developers for where we want the franchise to go. Now, where I personally see the Fallout franchise going on a more realistic note is Bethesda Game Studios Montreal. Now, I know a lot of people tie them in with just mobile games because they did help develop Fallout Shelter, but lots of people don't also realize that they did develop Skyrim Special Edition. Now, I know that's not a big deal because it was mainly just an upres, some new effects, and so on, but what I'm highlighting here is them familiarizing themselves with the Fallout universe with Fallout Shelter, but also the tech that Bethesda Game Studio used to create both Fallout 4 and Skyrim. The reason this is important is because we're going to roll back the clock a little bit here and look at the Sly Collection. This was a fantastic game. It was a port done by Sanzaru Games to bring the PS2 generation into PS3. This is way before HD remasters were a popular thing and used as mainly a cash-in for a lot of games. But what Sanzaru was doing, and they've said this in multiple interviews when they were creating Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, was that they were trying to familiarize themselves with the Sly Cooper universe as they up-res this entire game. My imagination here is telling me that they are familiarizing themselves with the creation engine tech so that they can make their own game. I doubt they'd open and expand a studio to just go ahead and do nothing but make mobile games. It just doesn't make sense to me. Granted, I have said in the past that would make sense from a business standpoint, but from the looks of it, it seems to have expanded more and more with a lot of job listings when we take a peek at those, alongside just PR comments coming from Bethesda that this studio seems to be growing a little bit. So with that said, it would also get a fresh mind into the Fallout franchise, which I think it needs at the moment, but more importantly is it for Bethesda as a business, it's going to keep Bethesda on the Fallout brand. Fallout 4, like I said, was the biggest Fallout game yet when it came to sales. And so if I'm Bethesda, I want to make sure I keep my name on that product because I want that association constantly, because Fallout is a mainstream name now. For better or for worse, we can discuss that another time, but if I'm Bethesda, I want to be associated with that big brand no matter what, and I don't think handing it off to another developer would do it any good. Anyway, those are my 2 cents on the topic today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on where you think the Fallout franchise will be heading next. So let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. The links are as always in the description down below. Check out SugarBomb.com, the place by Bethesda fans for Bethesda fans. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.